Pentagon police officer has died after being stabbed during a burst of violence on Tuesday at a transit station outside the Pentagon. This tops our news making headlines this morning. The Pentagon was temporarily placed on lockdown on Tuesday after multiple gunshots were fired near the entrance of the building. Officials say the officer was attacked just after 10:30 in the morning on a Metro bus platform. That officer was rushed to George Washington University Hospital, where he later died. The officer's body was accompanied by a police escort through the streets of Washington, D.C. A suspect was shot by law enforcement and also died at the scene. An investigation is underway.
Well, New York City will soon require proof of COVID-19 vaccinations. The mandate applies to anyone who wants to dine indoors at a restaurant, see a performance, or go to the gym. New York City is the first big city in the U.S. to impose such restrictions, and the new requirement will be phased in over several weeks in August and September. Well, the CDC has issued an order to stop millions of Americans behind on rent from being evicted. They're calling it a public health emergency. NBC's Tracy Potts tells us who this order affects and how long it may last.
At least 6 million Americans behind in rent get a reprieve for now. The Centers for Disease Control declared that people who live in areas with high coronavirus transmission cannot be evicted because it's not safe to kick them out of their homes in the middle of a pandemic. President Biden admits it's a temporary fix that may not hold up in court.
By the time it gets litigated, it will probably give some additional time while we're getting that $45 billion out to people who are, in fact, behind in the rent and don't have the money.
Rental assistance approved, but still sitting in the bank. Most of it has not been handed out by states. The CDC action comes after the Supreme Court ruled Congress must act, but lawmakers failed to extend a federal law banning evictions during the pandemic. A handful of lawmakers put the pressure on by sleeping on the Capitol steps, led by a Missouri congresswoman who's been evicted 3 times.
I do know what it's like to have babies sleeping in a car with trash bags, my belongings, everything I own in trash bags, because I know what that's like. There's no way that I could sit back and be quiet.
The CDC said the rapidly spreading Delta variant changed the situation. Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky said in a statement this new order is the right thing to do. Tracy Potts, NBC News.